What is going on, everybody? This is a late night live right now on Jets Media as we have a crazy report that just came out. I usually don't go live at this time of the night. I mean, if you guys been following me for a while, I'm never live at 10:30 p.m. But The Athletic came out with an article, and I need to break this down with you guys. I just read the whole thing. I took notes of it. And if you guys did not read this article, please click the link right now in the description of the stream. If you're watching me on replay, go read the article on The Athletic because Zach Rosenblatt, Diana Rossini just gave us the truth. Now, of course, we got to take everything with a grain of salt. We don't know what's true. We don't know what's not. But I'm going to trust Zach Rosenblatt. I'm going to trust Diana Rossini that they're not going to make this stuff up, okay? I think they're very trustable sources, in my opinion. I respect both of their work. So let's get into it. Jets fans, hit the like button. We're about to get into business here because today was a very interesting day in Jets land. The Jets went on there and fired Joe Douglas. This is an emergency Jets Media Live right now. An emergency late night Jets Media Live. That's when you know things serious. Things are going down because the truth is exposed, all right, of what's been going on with this Jets team, what's been going on behind the scenes, all right? The truth has been exposed. So smash that like button right now on your way in, Jets Nation, because things are about to get juicy, and we're really about to find out the truth. All right, so let's get right into business without further ado. Don't want to waste anybody's time. It's late. If you're watching me on replay, don't forget to smash the like button. So this is the article. We're gonna read through this together. All right, the truth has been exposed, man. This is craziness. So Woody Johnson tried to bench. Let's just start off with the headliner. Woody Johnson. I'm gonna break down the article of what I learned, and then we're gonna read through the whole thing together. So this is what I took away, right? Woody Johnson tried to bench Aaron Rodgers after the Jets lost to the Denver Broncos. That was when Robert Saleh was still there. The coaching staff was like, "What are you kidding me? We're gonna bench Aaron Rodgers right now?" And they convinced Woody not to do it. And then the next week, the Jets lost to the Vikings, and then Woody Johnson decided to fire Robert Saleh. That's number one. Woody Johnson has been in control of this team way before this season. And everybody wants to blame Joe Douglas for a lot of things, but this was not Joe Douglas's team anymore after these last few years. Woody Johnson has been controlling everything. And Joe Douglas had no control. Because according to the article, guess what? Obviously, we know Bryce Huff isn't doing well with Philadelphia, but let's not forget, in the offseason, we all wanted the Jets to extend Bryce Huff, and everybody was saying Joe Douglas made a mistake of not extending Bryce Huff. Well, according to this article, Joe Douglas was vetoed by Woody Johnson to give him a contract offer. That's another thing that he did. And to make things worse, let's talk about right now, Woody Johnson wanted this Jets team to come practice this week during the bye week. Woody Johnson wants the New York Jets to practice this week on a bye. I mean, that did not go well with the veterans on this football team, obviously. I really can't believe that Woody thinks that he can just, like everybody on this team is looking at Woody Johnson like, bro, get me off this team, man. He is absolutely blowing everything up, and he is so incompetent, man. I'm just so sick of this. Apparently, Woody Johnson is the one that, I didn't even know this, but Tony Adams got benched, okay, because of Johnson. Johnson's controlling everything. And remember what Joe Douglas said at the trade deadline. He spoke with the media. Joe Douglas looked defeated, man. He looked defeated. Absolutely defeated. And he said, quote, "I serve at the pleasure of the owner." That was Joe Douglas basically saying, all the moves you see isn't me anymore. Isn't me. Woody Johnson controls everything. Okay, Woody wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers after the Denver Broncos game. And Robert Saleh and everybody was looking at Woody like, are you serious? Like, now, has Aaron Rodgers impacted the Jets winning? No, it's not like Woody was on to something there. Benching Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have changed anything. But the fact that Woody wanted to do that after 3 games or 4 games at the time is really wild. And that really brings up why I think Saleh was fired. Johnson told Saleh, bench Aaron Rodgers, and Robert Saleh retaliated. He's like, I'm not benching Aaron Rodgers. And then he decided to play with Aaron Rodgers against the Vikings. And then Woody's like, all right, you don't want to listen to me? You're fired. And he fired him on the spot. And then Woody thought, okay, now this is what this Jets team need. Robert Saleh doesn't want to listen to me. I'm going to elevate his buddy Ulbrich to be the head coach. Watch Ulbrich go. And watch Ulbrich provide a spark. That's what Johnson thought. That a coach that is 10 times worse than Robert Saleh is going to change something. Nope, not the case. All right? So, basically, this offseason, all the free agency moves, apparently Joe Douglas wanted to trade for this player. Johnson vetoed a lot of things, okay? And we knew this was the structure of this team. We knew that the structure of this team was Joe Douglas wants to make a move. He needs to report to the owner. The owner needs to approve it or veto it. And it seems like this has been Woody Johnson's team. And also, when Woody Johnson said at the owners' meeting that this is the best roster he's ever had in 25 years, I think he was insinuating that he built it. He's taking credit that this team is his. That all the work that Joe Douglas did for 6 years, all the players he brought in was all Woody Johnson, who left this team and now came back in 2021. And by the way, he's going to leave us again. I mean, this article really exposes a lot of what's going on. Now, listen, again, we don't know if all of this stuff is true. We just don't. We just don't know. But I'm still got to go live and break down my thoughts of it, man, because there's a lot of juicy stuff. And everybody around the league is looking at the Jets, man. Like, what is going on? Who wants to work in this environment? Who wants to? Joe Douglas was checked out. All the players are checked out. I mean, they even highlight offseason moves that Woody was involved in. I mean, Woody Johnson benched our starting safety, Tony Adams. Why is Woody Johnson doing that? That's not his role, to bench Tony Adams. Sorry. Whether Tony Adams is good this season or not and the defense was struggling, that doesn't matter. But why is Woody Johnson making personnel decisions? We have an active owner who is not a football mind making football decisions. We do not have a football mind running this team. We have a business mind running this team, and Joe Douglas should be the man making all these executive decisions, not Woody Johnson. And it's all Woody. And at the end of the day, this isn't even shocking anymore at this point, because this is just unbelievable. I really recommend you guys go check out the article, man, because there's some juicy stuff in here. This is some juicy stuff. Woody Johnson thinks he's like Jerry Jones or something. James says, is Woody Jerry's brother? Exactly, James. I mean, you can just read through this article yourself, and you'll see a lot of interesting stuff. Listen to this. 1 month later, the Jets held a walkthrough at the team facility. Some staffers were surprised to see Woody Johnson on the last day before the teams broke for their bye, even at practice mandated by Johnson himself. Some suspected something was about to happen. So Woody Johnson mandated a practice in the bye week just so we could bring the whole team together to fire Joe Douglas and then tell the players we're practicing this week. And all the players were like, no, we're not. What do you mean, bro? I mean, let's just get into the nitty-gritty of the article, the headliner. The day after the Jets lost to the Denver Broncos, there was a contentious meeting at the team facility. It included Johnson, Douglas, Christopher Johnson, Jaime. Another advisor was there, a group of coaches, then Robert Saleh, Hackett, Ulbrich, Brant Boyer. The coaches had been called in to explain what happened with their units during the 10-9 meeting, the 10-9 home loss to the Broncos. During the meeting, Johnson suggested to the coaches that they bench Aaron Rodgers in favor of Tyrod Taylor because he felt Rodgers' performance was holding the team back. The coaches and Douglas, stunned at the suggestion, talked him out of it and convinced Johnson to stay the course and that benching Rodgers with his pedigree 4 games into the season would not sit well with the locker room. The coaches also felt it would embarrass Rodgers. The idea of benching the future Hall of Famer sounded so absurd that one coach asked whether the owner was serious. Multiple sources from that meeting believed he was. Let me remind everybody where this Jets team was when they lost to the Broncos. Remove all you know about the season thus far that we're 3-8. The Jets were 2-2, and we were coming off dominating. We were coming off a 2-game win streak and Aaron Rodgers having his only good moment as a Jet, which was dominating the Patriots at home on Thursday Night Football. Only good moment of Aaron Rodgers' career with the Jets. Not even a moment anyone will remember. But my point is, Rodgers went out there and dominated the Patriots, and then a week later, they lost to the Broncos, and that loss to the Broncos made Woody Johnson want to bench him after 4 games. I really hope this is a false report because that is really hard to comprehend. That is really hard to comprehend that our owner, after 4 games, the Jets 2-2 on the season, Aaron Rodgers, he wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers for Tyrod Taylor. Oh, my God. Johnson was calm that day, but the meeting set the tone for what happened a week later. On October 8th, Johnson made the decision to fire Saleh without consulting his general manager or anyone else in the organization for that matter. But really, Douglas's free will as the GM was stripped away long before that. And I also just want to clear something up. Enough with the people saying that Aaron Rodgers is the one firing Saleh. Rodgers is the one firing Douglas. You guys couldn't be more wrong because you guys are still saying it. This is not me defending Rodgers. This is just me telling you the truth that this is all Woody. It's been Woody from the jump. Woody is about to fire Rodgers himself, bro. Johnson, that's another thing about this article. We found out today, and I made a video on it, Aaron's not coming back next year. The Jets don't want him back. Right? So stop with the people that keep saying Aaron Rodgers is making all these decisions. He has no control in those things. People think Aaron is like this egomaniac that's making all these decisions. No, he's not. He had no say with Saleh getting fired. It's Woody being out of his... It's Woody Johnson. It's always been him. So stop with that. You can even see, look at this. Douglas had already lost some power midway through last season when Johnson took a more active role. Example, Douglas had a contract extension offer he was getting ready to propose to D-end Bryce Huff's agent, but Johnson vetoed that. He vetoed a potential Bryce Huff extension. Very interesting. And by any other moves involving paying new money to players on the roster, by January, Douglas seemed to have less control. That's when he fired assistant GM Rex Hogan and moved that shocked many in the organization because of how close Douglas and Hogan and their families were. Multiple team sources theorized that Johnson forced Douglas's hand. In the aftermath, Douglas told staffers that Woody should just fire me now. In February, director of player personnel Chad Alexander left for an assistant GM job with the LA Chargers. Johnson did not allow Douglas to replace either of them. From then on, many in the organization described Douglas as a shell of himself. They're holding him hostage. Joe was checked out. Wow. Wow. Last offseason, both Saleh and Douglas agreed they needed to focus on rectifying some past mistakes they had made in free agency. Specifically, they wanted to avoid aging players or ones with injury concerns. Douglas pursued a trade with Broncos for wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, offering Lazard in a day 2 pick, but Johnson vetoed it. And then Jeudy was traded to the Browns. When offensive tackle Tyron Smith and wide receiver Mike Williams lingered about the initial wave of free agent signings, the Jets pursued both. Multiple team sources believe this was a matter of Johnson's preoccupation with social media factoring into the Jets' decision-making. Douglas went along. Did I just, what did I just read? That breaks my brain. That just broke my brain. This isn't the first time I read it, by the way. That just broke my brain. You want me to reread that? I'm going to reread it if you guys missed it. I'm going to reread this because I got to laugh at this. Let me drink some water, man. I cannot believe this. When offensive tackle Tyrod Smith and wide receiver Mike Williams lingered after the initial wave of free agent signings, the Jets pursued both. Multiple team sources believe this was a matter of Johnson's preoccupation with social media factoring into the Jets' decision-making. That is unreal. I actually theorized this before any of this. And if you guys know, you know. If you watched my shows in the past where I theorized that it seems like Woody is doing everything that the fans want on social media because he's so plugged in now, I was right. I said that jokingly. But I was right, actually, that Woody is listening to the fan base listening to social media. That's crazy. That's nuts. He offered an incentive-laden 1-year, $6.5 million deal worth up to $20 million with various playing time incentives. What Douglas didn't expect, no other teams, including Dallas, where Smith spent his whole career, had expressed interest in signing Smith. So the former All-Pro accepted the Jets' offer. The 33-year-old has allowed most sacks, blah, blah, blah. Around the time Smith and Williams joined the roster, the Jets had began talks with Hassan Reddick. And this is interesting because Douglas was warned by Reddick's representation that the Jets didn't plan on awarding Reddick a new contract, blah, blah, blah. This led to the holdout. All right. It wasn't obvious how involved Johnson was in the operation before the season started. It became clear in October when Saleh was fired. Johnson explained that he felt the Jets had the most talented roster in the franchise had assembled in his 25 years as owner, and he wanted to find a spark before it was too late, promoting Ulbrich to the interim head coach. Yeah, it did not work. The line about the roster talent was presumably an endorsement of the work Douglas had done over the past few years, but multiple sources within the organization viewed it as more as an endorsement of the roster that Johnson felt that he built. Oh my God. There's so much to unpack in this article, guys. Like, so much. Like, every paragraph. Great work from Diana Rossini and Zach Rosenblatt to get these scoops, man, because this is exposing a lot. People believe that, you know, on the surface, you hear Woody Johnson praise the roster. He's like, oh, wow, Woody's giving Joe Douglas some credit. No. That's Woody Johnson boosting his own ego, and he's thinking that this is his team. I'm the one that's vetoing. I'm the one that's accepting. I'm the one that's saying, Joe Douglas, yeah, do that. Oh, veto that. This is my team. I don't know how we're going to bring in I don't want to go down negative Nancy world, but this is like the most incompetent thing I've ever seen. I just don't know why or how he doesn't want to sell the team after this. This is what this is doing for me is it's bringing clarity to the situation of what's been going on behind the scenes. For me personally, as a Jets fan, this is refreshing because I'm getting a little bit more clarity of what's been going wrong. That's how I look at it. This is giving me a lot of clarity as a Jets fan right now because I've been wondering what's been going on behind the closed doors, and now we're finally seeing the truth. Woody Johnson feels like this is the team that he built. Unreal, man. And look at this. On Sunday, the Jets benched starting safety Tony Adams at the behest of Johnson, according to a team source. Johnson also wanted the Jets to practice during their bye week, which did not go over well with some of the locker room's leaders. Bro, he literally wanted to practice during the bye. Dude, the players hate him. Oh, my God. Can you imagine being a player? It's like, oh, finally, the bye week. I get a week off. No, you're practicing. Because of this guy that doesn't know what... The Jets are 1-4 since the Adams trade, 3-8 for the season, and are headed into an offseason in which they will be undertaking a full organizational reset. GM, head coach, quarterback. Rodgers is fond of both Douglas and Ulbrich and had been hoping for some continuity in 2025. As such, it's increasingly unlikely the quarterback returns next season, and it's believed that Johnson won't want him back anyway. So that's important to note. We talked about this today on the show when I made a video about this. Last week, I made a video that Aaron Rodgers is returning next year. Why? Because Aaron Rodgers said that he wants to return. But now we're hearing that Woody Johnson does not want Aaron Rodgers. And I said, Johnson fired Saleh, fired Douglas. Why would Woody not fire Aaron Rodgers next? That's what's going to happen. Rodgers is not a Jet anymore, folks, after this season. I don't even know. Come on, man. So let me say this again. I said this 5 times, but I'll say it the 6th time for this guy. I never said this is confirmed news. I said take this report with a grain of salt. I said that we can't read everything that we read online and think it's 100% factual, but this is an article that the whole national media is talking about. So we're going to talk about it. And I said to start it off, and I said midway through, and I'll say it now. This is an article written by The Athletic, And you cannot take everything with 100%. So take everything at surface level and take what you want out of it. So you grow up and actually listen to what I'm saying. The Rotten Alchemist. How about that? It goes on and talks about how Joe Douglas said after the press conference after the trade deadline that I serve at the pleasure of the owner. And by the way, tell me anything out of this article that doesn't sound believable. I mean, is there anything in this article that you're like, yeah, that can't be true? To me, this is no excuse for like Joe Douglas. I'm not making this live stream to come on here and say it's all Woody's fault and Douglas deserves a chance. But boy, oh boy, Joe Douglas, it feels like Joe Douglas just got like handcuffed. This isn't his team. Douglas did not have control of this team. And we're criticizing all the moves and blaming Douglas. That's what Jets fans are doing. That's what Jets fans are doing, man. So, I don't know. This is just bringing up. James with the super chat, is a fire sale coming? It already happened. It already started. Oh, yeah, James. I mean, the two biggest names that the leaders of the Jets are gone. Saleh and Douglas. Those are the two leaders. They're already gone. So, yeah. This fire sale is coming. Thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. Caden wants me to buy the team. All right, folks. I'm going to start a GoFundMe for me to purchase the team, where $8 billion is the goal. And every penny is going towards buying the Jets. And I will anoint all of you guys as part owners that fund it. How about that? I'm just joking around. Can you imagine that? I wish I could be a Steve Cohen and like become a multi-billionaire and buy my favorite team. That'd be dope. But I ain't going to hedge funding like Steve Cohen did. So this is really this is exposing the truth of what's going on, folks. If you enjoyed this, please do me a favor, hit the like button right now. If you're enjoying this for a late night show, I'm never ever live at this hour. I mean, ever. I really like to unplug at this time of the night, and not do work because I work all morning and all day. And the only time I'm live at this hour is usually the AFC's roundtable. But on this channel, I'm never live. But it felt like this article needed to be talked about right away. I'm not, you know what I mean? I couldn't wait till the morning to talk about this. I needed to talk about it right now. Come on, man. Come on. Oh, boy. This is, I don't know how Jets fans deserve this. Green Bay pitches in, and they are all owners. Yeah, that's how Green Bay does it, actually. We can all become owners. We can all become owners if we do the Green Bay Packers structure. We need a new structure. How about it? We need new structure, man. How about it, bro? But, the Jets suck. Nothing more to talk about. Shut the mic off. How about you just don't watch if you don't care? Because I'm going to continue to talk about the Jets. I've started talking about the Jets 5 years ago. The Jets have sucked 5 years straight. Why would I stop now? That's what I just don't get. People expect me to just stop making content and stop being a fan because my team disappoints me. I'm built on this. I mean, what are fans for? Are we just supposed to give up when we're not loyal? I mean, why are you watching? That's my question. I'm not turning my mic off. It's getting louder, actually. How about that? For the people that tell me to stop making videos and stop caring so much about the Jets, I'm telling you right now, this channel is not for you. It's that simple. You don't have to watch my content if, number one, you don't enjoy it, and number two, you think I shouldn't be a fan because my team is bad. Yeah, I'm upset that they stink. And that's why I'm here voicing my frustration and connecting with all like-minded Jets fans so we can all be frustrated and pissed off together because we don't deserve this, bro. People think I should just give up. Well, what are we doing? I'm a fan of my team. I get super excited when we win, which is rare. I don't even know what that's like, right? And very frustrated and angry when we lose. Oh, what's the definition of that? Being a fan. It's that simple. Josh with the super chat. I hope Joe Douglas comes back to a front office role in Philly where he was before, and he went to the dysfunctional Jets. Before he went to the dysfunctional Jets. Yeah, Douglas is 100% getting a job somewhere. I don't know about it. He's not going to be a GM right away, but he's going to be in the front office for sure. For sure. For sure. So, I mean, this is interesting because I think we're going into a season, folks, that is going to entail, and my biggest question to this right now, I want to open this up for a discussion. After all of this coming out, and you're somebody that's aspiring to be a head coach and you're aspiring to be a GM, what makes you think that you want to go work for the Johnsons? Because think of it this way. If you're a head coach of the Jets or a GM of the Jets, you're basically getting hired and your boss is Woody Johnson. After seeing all this, what GM is going to want to come here? Who in their right mind is going to look at the Jets as an attractable destination? Throw all the players aside, all the talent the Jets have that this coaching staff may or may not be excited about. Who wants to work for Woody Johnson? Woody, I've been rooting for you, man. I was saying a lot of good things about Woody this year heading into the season. I really was. And this is what he did. It's just like, it's ridiculous. All right, guys, the W wants me to stop complaining. Let's start praising instead. Praising. Let's praise the New York Jets at being 3-8 right now, heading into the bye, and being one of the worst teams in the NFL with the highest expectation possible. Let's praise it. I mean, this is what I don't get. When people tell me to stop complaining, do you not want me to complain? I'm a fan of my team that absolutely sucks. If you don't want to sit here and watch me complain, don't watch. This is definitely a complaining show, that's for sure. Right? Jets fans are all complaining. We should. We invest so much energy and so much thought and so much money being a fan of this team, buying stuff, going to games, whatever the case may be. And we get this in return, incompetence. Of course we're going to complain. That's what fans do, especially Jets fans. It's in our blood, unfortunately. It is unfortunately in our blood. I don't like that it is, but it is. It is, folks. That's what it is. This has been an interesting live, man. Breaking down a lot of details, exposing the truth. We hit over 100 likes, folks. I appreciate you guys tuning into the late night live. This has been an interesting type of show. It's kind of unhinged. I'm kind of just ranting, but in a calm way, right? I'm not raising my voice. I'm not yelling, but I'm definitely feeling some type of way right now. And, like, listen, I can openly admit this. I was sucked into the hype, and I was dead wrong to do that. There was no reason for me to do that. I shouldn't have done it. But why wouldn't I? I don't regret buying into the hype, but I did. And I was on here saying all these things that the Jets could be, and it's the opposite. So now the Jets are going to retool and rebuild. I don't know what Woody Johnson can do that can convince me or any Jets fan that things are going to get better. This season broke me, man. And for those that's been watching my content for years, know that. I started this YouTube channel when the Jets hired Joe Douglas. That was when I started. So, like, this firing of Douglas kind of hits home for me because I literally made a YouTube channel because I trusted Joe Douglas's vision. I'm like, ooh, like, this gets me excited. This makes me want to make videos and talk about the Jets. Like, literally. When the Jets got Joe Douglas, my first ever video was titled The Timeline for the New York Jets Success, like Joe Douglas's future plan. And I mapped out the 3 to 5 year plan, and here we are in year 5, and it's all a big, giant failure. So to see Joe Douglas get fired, she's a wake-up call like, dude, that's 6 years of belief gone. 6 years of building a roster, done. So like it's kind of it's a full circle moment for me. The first video I made was when Douglas was brought in here, and now I'm here live talking about Douglas fired and a report on the truth and how it doesn't seem like there's any chance in that Woody Johnson's selling the team, which is what we all want. We all want it. We would love it, but it ain't happening. So it is what it is. Well, I'm going to be live tomorrow morning for Wake Up and Ball on Roundtable Sports Network, folks. If you guys want to go check us out over there, we're live on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel every single morning now. It's a brand new show, 5 days a week, It's called Wake Up and Ball. We're definitely going to talk about the Aaron Rodgers situation. It's me and TD Finns talk, all right? We talk all sports, and tomorrow morning we're going to be talking about of course, Aaron Rodgers situation and all things. So definitely go check out Wake Up and Ball, guys. I would much appreciate that. Going to put the link in the chat right now. Go subscribe to this YouTube channel, Roundtable Sports. It's the main channel of all Roundtable Sports content. Make sure you guys go check out Roundtable Sports and subscribe over there. Would appreciate that big time. We're doing a lot of fun things and building something special here on Roundtable Sports. Brand new show live every single morning at 8:30 a.m. All right? That's where you're going to hear me next in the morning. So Wake Up and Ball with TD and I, and go subscribe over there to Roundtable Sports, man. Much love to all you guys that's supporting what we're building here on Jets Media and over there on Roundtable Sports, all right? So I'm going to wrap up the show here. I'm going to go to sleep, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow, guys. So hope you guys have a fantastic night. Get some rest, and love you all. Thank you for tuning into this late night live, some emergency live stream, whatever you want to call it. Hope you guys have a great night. Hit the like button on your way out. See you guys tomorrow morning, all right? I will see you guys in the morning for Wake Up and Ball. Peace. Ow!